Morals. Okay, I saw one that said morals. We're gonna talk to
Oh, boy.
Lester. You know how much I like this. Let's see if your Zen can handle Lester. Hi, Lester.
I can handle it because I don't have to say anything. You got it covered.
Hey.
You and I had this talk with Scott.
What would you like to talk about, Lester? Morals and stuff. What's up?
Yeah. Well, I wrote. Well, I don't think you can see that, but
The call screener thing. It says here that you're saying if the foundation for naturalist moralist is well-being, then why are they also pro-choice? That's easy because there's a person there who we believe no one has the right to force them to remain pregnant against their will. And so I'm going to support their right to defend themselves against an invader.
Yeah. So if you're the foundation for your objective moral values is well-being, that means it applies to everything. Like I called last time, that's what you told me.
Yeah, the problem is that I just answered your question and you just ignored it and went on to say whatever you were planning to say. See, there,
No,
at worst, when we're talking about someone who's pregnant, at worst, there would be two individuals whose rights would be in conflict. I don't think that's the case, but even if it were, does a 5-year-old have a right to use its mother's body without her consent?
No. Well,
okay.
No.
Then why are you wanting to give special rights to a fetus? Why does the woman's rights get trumped by something that is less human than the 5-year-old, or less?
There's no such thing as less human.
Oh, actually, yes, there is such a thing as less human, it provided you come up with the right context. But I immediately retracted it even before you said it. And the notion that it does not matter whether it's a 5-year-old or a 5-day or 5-week-old fetus, it should not have the right to use someone else's body without their consent. And that's why I'm pro-choice.
The thing is, abortion goes up to 23 weeks.
Yes.
That's more than
okay. I apologize, Lester. I don't mean to treat you like you're stupid. But if I said all the way from conception up to a 5-year-old child, hell, up to a 50-year-old, no person, no matter what their age, gets to use somebody else's body without their consent. So what difference does it make if it goes up to 20 some odd months or weeks? Sorry.
Because you shouldn't take away their life. Because
now, you're saying that, but it's not the okay. You're not listening, and you're not providing anything in response other than just an assertion that we shouldn't take a life. Do you agree with me?
A 50-year-old has life.
Do you know if there's a 5-year-old that is going to die without a transplant from their mother, do they have the right to force their mother to give them a transplant?
No.
Correct. So that results in that child dying, doesn't it? The mother refusing the transplant results in the kid dying, correct?
No, because there could be other.
No. I set up the scenario where a transplant from the mother is the only thing that will save this child, and that's it. And the mother says no, that child's going to die, right?
Well, you can't do that.
What do you mean I can't do that? I just fucking did it. I set up that scenario to make it directly analogous.
It doesn't mean it applies to real life. It doesn't mean
it does apply to real life. There are circumstances where someone's going to need a transplant right now, where there's no time to wait, where they can't get on a list, where they're going to die without it, and where the immediate family member, the parent, doesn't matter. Pick anybody. The person who needs the transplant has no right to force anyone anywhere to give them the transplant, correct?
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Then that's why I'm pro-choice.
I have a question. So you're saying you're pro-choice because that they can't force that person to use their body, right? The mother?
Yes.
But your foundation is well-being. So
yes,
how is the life better than like using the body? Like you
hang on, start over. What's the question? Because you cut out and I don't want to miss your question.
Oh, sorry. Why would you go for killing a baby instead of
abortion? Is not the right to kill.
Different choice.
Abortion is not the right to kill. Abortion is the right to terminate a pregnancy. The fact that this results in the death of the fetus is a fact of biology. It does not a right to kill. And late term, by the way, results in a delivery. If you want to terminate an abortion late and there's not medically extenuating circumstances, it's called a delivery. Abortion is the termination of a non-viable fetus, period.
But it's living, right?
It doesn't matter if it's living. The 5-year, I don't know why this is so hard for you, Lester. Whether it's living in the womb or living outside the womb and writing poetry and curing cancer, it does not have a right to use someone else's body without their consent, period. In anything that you say to the contrary, anything Lester, anything you say to the contrary means that you are advocating that fetuses should get not human rights, not equal rights, but special rights. And you need to come up with a justification for why they should get special rights so that you, as an outsider, can force a woman who you have no business being involved with or saying shit about ever to carry a fucking fetus to term and give it special priority. So please make your case for why fetuses should be above the law.
Hey man, I mean, there's no reason to get angry, but
yes, there is. Yes, there is. You obnoxious little shit. And I'm going to let
there's reason
Shannon
to get angry.
Explain to you why.
Reason to get angry. So I've been quietly sitting here listening to you fine gentlemen debate why somebody should have the rights to my body. That's what I've been quietly sitting here listening to for the past however long this has gone on, is you making a case that whatever is residing inside of me, and I am in possession of a uterus and also in possession of a human child. I've had a miscarriage. I've mourned the loss of a pregnancy that I did want. So, and I gave birth to a child who is very much wanted, who I love and adore. And I've never had an abortion, but I am very much pro-choice for a lot of the reasons that Matt stated. One of the primary things that you have to take into consideration is that this child is separate from me, right? Separate from me. The child is not me. The child is residing within my body. So functionally, what you're saying is that somebody else that isn't me has the rights to my body. That's what you're saying. Somebody who is not yet sentient, potentially, has the rights to my body and not me. And this isn't something that you're ever going to have to come across. And I am so sick to goddamn death of listening to dudes debate back and forth about what I should be doing and whether or not a fetus, a zygote, an embryo, whatever, has rights to my body and whether or not they should be the ones who determine that's the case. How about this? I've decided that every time somebody needs a blood transfusion to survive, you have to provide it to them if you are a match to them, because if you do not, more people will die. And if somebody needs a liver, you can go without portions of your liver. You can donate a portion of your liver every time somebody needs it. Otherwise, they might die. What I'm saying to you right now is that removing a zygote, a fetus, an embryo from my body is just relinquishing my permission for it to have access to my body. The same way that you have the free opportunity to not donate a portion of your liver, to not donate blood, I have the free opportunity to say, I don't donate my uterus to you. The end. Not up to you, up to me. Period. We good?
Okay, can I talk?
No.
No, I had a lot of things to say.
No, you really fucking don't. Because it's clear that you did not listen to Shannon in the slightest. If you come out the side of what Shannon just said with the notion that you have a lot to say, you weren't paying attention, and we're done talking to you. Goodbye.
See you later. Have a good day. I look forward to all of the pieces of your liver that you're donating and all of the blood that you're going to donate every week. And that everybody that makes these arguments,
yeah.
Like, somebody has a right to my body, but nobody has a right to your body, right? Like, you don't have to relinquish components of your body. You don't have to donate components of your body to people who need it to survive. People die on transplant lists every day. People die because they don't get blood transfusions every day. Why aren't you in line? Why aren't you a blood donor? Why aren't you giving away your liver? Why aren't you donating one of the kidneys if you don't need it? because you're not consistent. Because you're not consistent. Controlling what I do is important, but you're not willing to even do something that isn't going to kill you. None of that's going to kill you. That's something that you can do. That's going to save a life. That's going to sustain a life of somebody who's currently cogent and sentient and walking around. But they don't see the analogy. Like, they don't understand.
Yep.
Or can't conceivably comprehend that it's fundamentally the same thing that you're asking. I'm saying you don't have access to my body. Whoever you is in this scenario don't have access to my body to use as you will. I'm the one who's in charge of that.
Yeah.
The same thing that you're saying. Sorry, I get fucking worked.
No, it's fine.
I said a swear.
No, you can swear all you want. There's somebody else who's like, why didn't you let him speak? Because he wasn't listening. This isn't a show for somebody just to come in and present what they think. So one of the things is the question that I'd asked him, which would have been interesting to perhaps get an answer to at some point, is what does he think would give him the right to tell Shannon that she has to stay pregnant? The problem is, before I got to that question, Shannon was like
angry,
all out of fucks to give. Because, so here's the thing. I've debated this
perilously low on fucks, yes.
I've debated this topic before, and I debated it as an atheist against a woman who was anti-choice and an atheist. But she was primarily anti-choice because of her Catholic bringing. I've done this debate. But before I ever did the debate, I talked to a bunch of people, and I talked to a bunch of women particularly, saying, hey, what are the optics of this like? You know, I get it. People want me to debate. I know what I'm doing here. My wife's an expert, or my ex-wife now is an expert on this, and there'll be plenty of prep. But if it's going to look bad for me, a dude, to be doing this. And in that case, they were like, no, you go. This is absolutely right case. You know, you've got a woman who's anti-choice and you're pro-choice, and we'll do it up. We'll do the debate. We had, we did the debate. But the thing is, if you agree that the 5-year-old does not have right to Shannon's body, and you think that a fetus does, then you're creating special rights. And you need to, first of all, justify those and codify and enshrine those, because nowhere in the law of the United States, at least, is it codified and enshrined that a fetus gets special rights. That's what they're trying to do. But anyway,
if there's a part of your body that can be used to sustain or save somebody else's body, fundamentally the argument is you are absolutely required to provide that. But the only circumstance where they seem to feel like that's the case is when it comes to the uterus. The rest of it is freedom.